morning, everyone. Today is Thursday, August 31st. Thank you so much for joining into our weekly HCR webinars. I appreciate that everyone takes time out of their busy schedules as we are heading straight into fourth quarter. If you have questions, there are a couple ways that you can ask questions during this webinar. You can either raise your hand icon, which is on the control panel to the right of your screen, or you can type questions into the question box, and I'll answer those at the end of the webinar. These webinars were started more than 4 years ago when after the ACA was signed and before our first year of enrollment, and they're really a place, hopefully, that you found them to be a place to come and get your questions answered and learn the latest, not only specific to Washington, but also to Pennsylvania. So again, I appreciate everyone joining in. My name is Deb Wilkinson, and I'm the Vice President of the Health Plan Options Department here at URL. And as you have come to hopefully realize, I'm always happy to help any question that you have. If I can't answer, I will reach out to my contact and get you an answer. So let's just get started. You know, of course, Congress is in recess, even though they said they wouldn't. They've been in recess and not back yet. When they do come back, the Senate Health Committee, which consists of the Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions Committees, will officially have their first bipartisan healthcare hearings. The first one set for next Wednesday, the 6th. That meeting is going to include insurance commissioners from Arkansas, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, Tennessee, Washington, and they'll all be in attendance. Pennsylvania, of course, we just had a recent change in our insurance commissioner. It's no longer Teresa Miller. She's heading up actually a tertiary type of committee, the head of 3 different committees that have been combined to form one. And Jessica Altman has been named the new Pennsylvania Insurance Commissioner. Not sure who will be attending that hearing. Our stance, Pennsylvania's insurance commissioner stance, is that the ACA is working and that they just need some cost share reductions guaranteed, and the market will stabilize itself, that we have more insured folks than prior to the ACA being signed. So, you know, again, I don't believe that's all of our opinions, or certainly not mine personally, so we'll see what comes out of those hearings, but I don't expect that Pennsylvania would advocate for any sort of repeal. The next day, the Health Committee is going to have the governors represented, and that will be Massachusetts, Montana, Tennessee, Utah, and Colorado. And the goal is to learn from state policymakers how Congress can make insurance more affordable and available. Lamar Alexander, he's a Republican, heads the Health Committee, and some of the points that he wants to get through would be to have some sort of, again, definitive cost share reduction payments, the assurance that the carriers will get these, and then more flexibility in approving those Section 1332 waivers, which would be for exemptions from the ACA and the essential health benefits. Also of note, the final rates from the carriers are due on the 5th. That is Tuesday. We do have a holiday on Monday, so for all intents and purposes, if the carriers don't change their rates or file different rates by tomorrow or late on Tuesday, it is what it is, and hopefully that will be positive, but again, I'm not anticipating that rates will go down in 2018. The CHIP reauthorization is also tied up in the federal level. The funding for CHIP ends September 30th. I don't expect that this would, be allowed to fizzle away. This is something that every state needs and wants, and very popular, obviously. So, but that's the due date. That's the end of the funding. So we'll keep watching that, as we always do. Just a reminder, the Cap Blue Cross, the one-time $100 per enrollee premium holiday, it's still in effect for October, November, December renewals. And these are for renewals that have a rate renewal in October, November, December with a deductible renewal in 1/1. They are going to get them together and roll them back into a plan year renewal and deductible. And again, they get $100 per enrollee premium holiday if they elect to have this done this year. If they don't do it this year, they will be forced to do it next year, and there will not be any premium holiday. So just be mindful of that. Also, the dependent sub-reports are no longer going to be available, except through eGEMS. We've talked a little bit about eGEMS with Capital before. It's an online system, but they're really pushing that online enrollment for January. Sub and dependent reports, additions and deletions all go through eGEMS. Now, again, we've talked about this before, and we're really pushing for the paperwork to come in with the group to set up eGEMS. It just makes everything easier for us to help you, support your groups administratively. So we encourage you to do that. And in January, it won't be an option. The BOR letters will include the eGEMS paperwork, which will make everyone's lives a lot easier. But again, if you can get a jump start on it, that would be great. Next week, our Medicare Connections conference is on September 6th, and our Leaders Conference is on September 7th. Again, that is going to start with breakfast, 3 breakout sessions, series of breakout sessions from various carriers, and then it will end immediately after lunch. I do have Geisinger Capital and Highmark coming in, and their government affairs folks from each of the carriers will be there in attendance, so hopefully you will attend and ask some questions about 2018, their strategy, commissions, etc. There is still room, so hopefully if you've not registered, you'll take some time today and register. In next week's newsletter, or in yesterday's Capital's Connect with Capital newsletter, they announced 2018 producer training. They have Wednesday in the Saucon Valley from 8 to 9:45. That's Wednesday, September 20th, excuse me. Wednesday, September 27th, it's in Enola, and there is a webinar on Wednesday, October 4th. That information, again, if you didn't get that Connect with Capital yesterday, I didn't get it in time to get it in my newsletter that's coming out in a few minutes here, but it will be in next week's newsletter. So again, it's 2018 product training. It does not include any individual training. It's specific to small groups. So just wanted you to be aware of that for those of you that would go anticipating information on the individual market. The Cap Blue Cross 12/1 renewals have arrived. We got them late yesterday. They are going out directly to the groups today. We are working on getting the renewal quotes done with alternates and those out to you. However, if you want a quick look at them or to pull them yourselves, they are in Salesforce with Capital, so you may want to go ahead and do that. We're going to try to get them out as quickly as possible, as you can imagine, thanks to all of our agent partners. There's an awful lot of them, and because everyone renews either 12/1 or 1/1, but you have a really good team behind you, young, smart, and fast, and we will get them out as quickly as we can. This is an interesting article that I read, and I thought it was timely. It talked about FMLA and Hurricane Harvey, and there was a lot of questions, I guess, on if FMLA applies to those that have to take off work because of flood issues, and that, the article, and it is in my newsletter, but it basically says that FMLA does not itself require employers to give employees time off to attend to personal matters arising out of a natural disaster, such as cleaning up a damaged basement, salvaging belongings, or searching for missing relatives. but an employee would qualify for FMLA leave as a result of a natural disaster if the employee would suffer, such as a physical or mental illness, an injury that meets the definition of a serious health condition, or renders them unable to perform their job. Also applies to the employee if they're required to care for a spouse, child, or parent with a serious health condition. So that information's in my newsletter today, but I thought it was timely, and for your groups 50 or more, if you're getting questions on Harvey and how that applies to FMLA, there's a resource for you there in my newsletter. Also, the 2018 benefit notice chart. A lot of you did email me and ask for that. I did send it out, but it was a very popular request, so I'm going to throw it out there again. If you want this chart from HR 360, you can either log into the HR 360 portal, or you can just email me and I'm happy to send it to you. And that's about it. That brings us to our open forum. Hopefully you have some questions. Our next webinar is 2 weeks from today, September 14th, because September 7th, of course, next Thursday is our Leaders Conference. So hopefully I will see you there, and we'll meet back up here on the 14th. So let's see if we have any questions. I have no questions, my goodness. Well, everybody's probably just, enjoying the quietness after their children went back to school and they have no questions, or, there's just nothing to ask about. So, and that's fine. We hopefully will have some more information once Congress comes back from recess, and obviously I'll share that with you. As always, I truly appreciate everyone joining in, and if you have questions in the interim, please don't hesitate to give me a shout or an email, and I'm happy to answer those questions. For the time being, I just wish you all a happy balance of the week and a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.